Okay, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to your practice. Welcome to your space. Welcome to your yoga. Your yoga. The word yoga, it comes from the root word to yoke, join together, mind, body, breath, spirit, emotional energies, all those things that just move through us as part of our humanness. You know, how human of you to have feelings and emotions. How human of you. How human of you to store these things in your body, right? So the beautiful gift when we come to the mat to just take that time to feel and to let things move through, and maybe things need to be acknowledged. Settling into your sit, however you placed your hands, just be with that for a few moments. Close your eyes. Just tuning into anything that you're aware of right now. Feeling into anything you're holding that you can just gently soften. And as you release yourself into your sit, into your very first pose of your practice, and tuning into the flow of your breath as it is. And feeling the breath as the anchor to bring your awareness a little more inside. Open our throat chakra. Between the heart chakra and the third eye is the throat, the communicator. We'll chant Om together 3 times. So we begin with a big inhale, lengthen tall, release this breath completely. Inhale fully. Bowing your chin, just allowing the third eye space to release towards your heart. And releasing your hands to your thighs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay. Yes. All right. I'm going to set my blocks aside, and we'll just start with the foot massage like we've been starting, but no socks this time. We're actually going to spread the toes. So if you need a moment, move your stuff around and find one foot, and then just focus all your attention on that foot. As you just wake it up gently with your, sacred, loving, compassionate, caring touch, and just let the jaw go, breath nice and relaxed. And notice any dry skin, maybe you'd be like, okay, I'll take care of you later today. Notice parts that are cold, maybe swollen a little bit, tight. Start to move your toes around at some point if you haven't yet. Okay, so before we interlace fingers to toes, I'm just going to rub the top and the bottom of the foot, and then give it the old little wake up twist. And then now I have my left foot, so you take the opposite hand, lay it on top of the sole of your foot, and then bring the fingers in between the toes. And use your other hand to help. Maybe pull the toes up and out. And just do your best. Intention is to get web to web one day. Even if you're just a little bit in, you're just like, oh, this is awesome. And just start to, you might be moving around already. Be with your breath. Just rock those toes and circle the ankle. Good. Okay, let's take one more moment. So I'm just twisting the foot with my fingers still in between. And I'm going to open the hand as wide as I can, like stretch between those toes. And then take your hand away. Maybe stretch the legs out, give the toes a nice wiggle. Examine your 2 feet. And, you know, it doesn't matter. There's always that change, even if you do this every day. And then switch feet when you're ready. And we'll just start just acknowledging this foot in a way that you don't normally do. So you just, everything that's happening here, maybe you have a foot injury from the past, and we don't get mired in the story, but you can be like, oh, I remember you, I see you. Good. Okay, keep your breath nice and relaxed. Good. I'm just going to move the toes around. Let's wake them up, warm them up. Good. Okay, and I'm just going to do top and bottom of the foot. And give it a nice little twist. And then when you're ready, opposite hand, just weave those fingers as best as you can. And then just be there for a few moments. You know, this is your first time doing this in a long time or first time ever, you might be surprised or pleasantly surprised. Good. Okay. I'm just twisting the foot a little bit. Maybe you're rolling the ankle, whatever you're doing. This chance to connect sole of the foot, palm of the hand even. Good. Okay. And then just give it a little wiggle and spread the fingers. And we'll take that out. And just do the same. Take a moment. Wiggle your toes. Good. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with, we're going to start in downward facing dog, and then we'll drop it down to child's pose. And so I'm just going to tell you that. And if you need to be on your back, you go on your back, hug your knees into your chest. And the fact that you're here, if this doesn't work. Oh, I put my bolster down too. So I have the bolster, it's right in the center of the mat. Okay, and then take your time. And you plant the hands. If you're ready, maybe you go up or you just extend your spine for a few moments. You melt your heart on the bolster or press up and back. It's going to be in the body. So we're using this pose to really get us into, the shoulders, the arms, the legs, the face, and then invite some movement in. Just feel into your body, and maybe it's a one heel towards the floor, opposite one lifts. Maybe it's a twisty, so you'll drop or you're moving your ribs side to side, just anything that feels okay. And I'm gonna rock front to back just for a few moments. And then I'm gonna settle into this dog, let the head hang. Nice strong arms. Lift your sit bones to the sky. If your heels are on the floor, maybe now you push the sit bones to the space behind you. And then you'll drop down to child's pose whenever you're ready. I'm going to hang out here for another 3 breaths, just pushing the thighs away, extending from the shoulders through the arms to the heels of the hands. And then coming down to your hands and knees and settling yourself back. You can use this bolster to rest your chest on if it works. You might wrap your arms underneath it to lift it higher. You put your hands on top of it. Just find a place to feel yourself supported. And if it's too much, right off the bat, then even just lifting your chest and resting on your hands. Kind of a seated half child's pose. Melt your back, your low back, your heart, as much as you can. Good. Take one more full breath in. And breathe out. Okay. We're going to find our way onto hands and knees. If you need support for your knees, you could always turn your bolster or bring a blanket in. I'm just kind of bringing my knees behind the bolster. Good. Tuck the toes under. Inhale and maybe round your back up to the sky. And exhale, reverse your cat-cow. And just move through this very mindfully, just like you're massaging your foot with all your intention. But here you're just massaging the insides. Feel your shoulders roll, your hips roll. Wrists getting a little bit of wrist love. And spread your fingers a little more. Anchor all the pads of your fingers. And release your jaw if you're holding tension. Let's take one more. And then come to neutral and press up and back to downward facing dog again. But you could rest in child's pose here if you like. Just press up and back. Take a look at your feet, friends, and make your heels disappear. Okay, I'm going to bring the big toes to touch. Lift that right leg straight up and just stretch through the heels of your hands. And then switch legs. Yes. Oh. Good. And then both feet to the floor. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take the knees to the floor and I'm going to come sit in virasana. So I'll move this bolster right between the knees and the feet. And then you have props. If you need them, you just place them. We're going to come to sit. If this is no good, then you just sit cross-legged, use the bolster as a support, or sit in, or just be in child's pose. So find whatever this is for you, if this works. You know, if you need to be pitching forward a little bit, do that. And I'm just going to settle in here. Just deep breath, maybe roll your wrists. And lift your heart. Okay, and we'll come out. So I'm going to come back to downward dog, but maybe, you know, just one leg extends at a time. That's better, do that. So let's just stretch this out. Good. Okay. So assuming you've done both legs, if you're doing one at a time, I'm just going to pull the bolster up, put the knees down behind the bolster. Okay, so I'm going to bring the blocks either side, and these are going to be optional. You're going to decide if you need them or not. Okay, I'm going to keep the right knee behind the bolster, and the left foot is going to step up. And if it doesn't come that far, you know, you maybe grab it, you kind of play with it. And then we're just going to bring ourselves forward into this bolster lunge we did the other day. Okay, so you could move the bolster back and have your knee on the bolster if you like, or the knee hanging off. You know, you just be here. Okay, now I'm going to press my hips up. I'm going to come up, one arm. Now I have my knee is on the bolster. Maybe that's important. Now I'm just going to come up. So I have my arms just resting on this thigh. So you find your place, and maybe it's a rocking forward and back. Just opening up the right quadricep a little bit. Okay, one more moment here. Be moving, could be static. And then release, some hands to the blocks or to the floor. Good. Okay, I'm gonna come back. So I'll just move that left knee. Walk your, find your space on your other side. So hands and knees, I'm gonna move the bolster over a little bit. Left knee's behind the bolster. Perhaps hands on blocks. Right foot comes forward. And then you just rock it forward. Yeah, we're gonna move the knee on the bolster. So you can move the bolster back or find your place here. Okay. Then we start to take the hips back. When you find, how can I get my right forearm? Maybe the left forearm. And then we're here in this, bent knee lunge, moving forward and back. Or you could just be hanging out. And then there's some strength in the foot. Opening the thigh a little bit. Okay, and then come out of this. Good. Okay, find your way back. Both knees on the floor. I'm just going to move the bolster up. Come to sit. Yes, okay, let's start by just lying down over the bolster. And, you know, of course, if the bolster's too much, you're going to use your blanket instead. So I'm just lying back. I have a block here. If you need more height for your head, you can just tuck that block underneath the end of the bolster. Okay, and now open your arms out, maybe stretch the legs out or keep them bent. And just allow everything we've done already, this little bit of moving. Just feel the energy. Open the arms out, palms up if that's okay for your shoulders. You can have the arms a little bit below shoulder height. Okay. Now I just want you to really be with your breath. Feel the inhalation fill up as much as you can. And the exhalation, release as much as you can. And really bring your attention inside so you feel the body moving with the breath. Okay. So take a nice big breath in. Breathe out. Okay, now take your fingers and find your clavicle bones. So that's, you know, where throat, the separation between throat and chest. Just find them. And then walk your fingers towards those little notches, you know, right where they almost meet. Find that. And then walk your fingers, you're going to walk underneath the bone towards the shoulders, but you're not going to go that far. You're just looking for the big divot, like where you feel your fingers can really go in a little bit. And that's probably the center of the collarbone, just below it. So just find that. And don't be too worried. Oh, I don't have the right spot. You have the right spot. It's a big spot. Okay, now you're just going to massage here. So you just take the fingers, push in, and just awaken yourself to this spot. This is the eyes of the chest. So you kind of feel all this soft tissue. And so just walk your fingers around, explore this space. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to try and breathe all the way up here. This is the tops of the lungs. So once you've really kind of cemented that spot in your head, open your arms out again. And then just bring yourself back to your breath. Slow it down or smooth it out. And can you feel your breath being drawn all the way up to the eyes of the chest? Can you feel this spot opening and expanding, contracting and releasing as you breathe? If you feel that happening, you might even feel your breath also expand out into the upper open shoulders. Just expand this breath. One or two more moments here, just exploring the capacity to breathe all the way up to the top of your chest. One more moment. Okay. And then if you have your legs straightened, let's bend the left one first, and then the right one. Just heel toe your feet apart, and we'll come to a very gentle windshield wiper. Again, you know, this nice thing about the bolster, maybe not nice, you decide, is that you already have this lift of the chest. So you might even be able to accentuate that a little deeper. So as the knees drop to one side, the opposite foot pushes away. And we might even extend. So as the knees go to the left, for example, maybe the right arm reaches away. And it might even start to reach, your arms might start to reach over your head. Just be in this, you know, awakening sensation of opening some parts of you that don't normally get access. Okay. Right, we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. So roll your knees to one side, and then you're on the bolster. So be conscious as you roll off, or know that you're coming off a height. Bring yourself back. Good. Okay. So I'm just going to readjust, put the bolster back, blocks on either side. I'm going to put that bolster behind the right knee. Okay, maybe hands on blocks, left foot's coming forward. You're going to just find this for yourself. You can put the blocks on any height. Okay, I'm going to just walk that knee on top of the bolster. Okay, and then I'll walk this left foot out a little bit. And I'm just going to twist over to the left. So I'm pulling the right shoulder forward. Now I'm going to push into the blocks, see if I can lift the chest a little bit. Take the chin back. And then I'm just going to move in this shape. So maybe it's a rock of the shoulders. You're going to let the left knee move. If this works, oh yeah, okay. All right, we're coming down for lizard. So bring it to center. Maybe the blocks go to their lowest height and the forearms come onto the blocks. Just kind of be here. I'm going to let that left knee drop out. Turn my head to the right. Now I'm just going to roll on this right thigh. So it's like I'm giving it a little massage on the bolster. Just whatever's happening for you here. It's almost over. Okay, and then come on back, up. Okay, I'm going to heel toe the foot in. Okay, let your knee come down, and we're going to, now maybe you take your blocks with you. You see, oh, you could also keep your knee on the bolster if you like that. I'm just going to pull the hips back. And then I'm just going to rock front to back. So I'm going to put the knee on the bolster, just maybe that's nicer. It does lift your hips a little higher. So you decide whatever you like better. I'm just opening up the back of this leg. Good. Okie dokie. All right. So now I'm going to lift the hips up and balance on both feet. So you might, adjust your stance. You can pull one foot in or step your feet in. Put the blocks on the higher height if you like. Put them in a place that's supportive. And we're just going to rock the hips now. So it's like you're going to move the hips to the left and then to the right. Just do that a few times. And if your knees are bent, or maybe you bend one knee and the other, like be playfully curious. Yes. Okay, then we stand on both feet. Maybe the blocks go higher. And just breathe here. I'm pulling the left hip back. I'm anchoring into both feet as much as I can. Soften the heart. Good. Okay, now the left foot's going to stay where it is. The right foot is going to step in front of the bolster. So if you need to walk your blocks forward first, do that. So now you have your right foot in front of the bolster. I'm going to put the left knee on the floor. And then I'm coming to sit in a half virasana. So if you need a block, you just put it, find your spot here. So you're sitting in a half virasana. Then the right foot might walk out a little bit, might go on the opposite side of the bolster. This is the pose, okay? We're just gonna sit here. You're gonna be in your breath. If you have the flexibility to take it back without lifting that knee, you might move your blocks back. Might come onto you might not. It's all fine. My tush is supported by the bolster. I'm just gonna breathe. I'm gonna draw the belly in so I get a little more thigh. Whatever you're doing. Okay, if you want more, maybe you bring that right knee in, lift the right leg up like you're in Cirque du Soleil here. But you don't have to do that. I'm gonna take one more breath. Okay, now we're gonna release, and again, I'm gonna release into a downward dog. If that's no good, you just maybe one leg back at a time. Just find your place. Okay, you can pedal your feet. If you want to lift one leg up in the air, do that. Maybe you bend the knee and open the hip. Okay, I'm just going to switch legs. Lift the other leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Okay, and then come back down. So your hands in your knees, just so you can put this bolster in front of the left thigh or left knee. And then the right foot's gonna come forward. Okay, so we're gonna start with the twist. So you put that bolster underneath your knee if you like. Blocks at any height. Now walk the right foot out to the right, let it turn out. And then you drop that knee to the right. You're just gonna turn and look over your right knee. You can let your thigh rest on the bolster if that works. Okay, now I'm just gonna twist. So I'm just turning side to side. Okay. Be whatever you're doing, if you're just, not just, if you're lying down and breathing, you're doing good work. Honest to gosh, just taking a time out. Okay, good. Then we come back, and I come to lizard. So the foot's still turning out. Maybe the forearms come onto the blocks. Maybe it's nowhere near there. I let the right knee drop out. I'm on the baby toe edge of the foot. And now I'm just gonna roll on this left thigh. So, you know, the right knee is almost stirring this little pot. You just find your place. Let the jaw go. Feel it's like it's a hip and thigh massage. Okay, take one more moment. Good. Okay, now we're gonna come out. So come back up on the hands on the blocks. Walk the foot in. Okay, we're gonna come up onto both feet. So the hips are lifting. So bring your blocks into wherever you need them. Lift up. Adjust your feet. So the right foot might want to walk out more, or they might want to come closer together. And then once you find a place, you're just going to move your hips. So the hips move right to the right and then come in. And breathe. Really, these standing poses are about the power of your feet. And nice openings here. Okay, once you're here, now I'm just going to just bring the hip forward. Both legs straight, you know, or straight-ish. If you need to bend, that's fine. And then just put your mind in your feet. Anchor the heels, all the bones of the feet. The heels are actually pressing down and out. They're not moving, they're just pressing out. Melt your heart a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to bend into the right knee. Walk the blocks forward so the left foot's going to step right in front of the bolster. The right knee is, you know, step your right foot back and put the knee down. And then adjust and find your virasana. So if you need a block, put it there, use your hands, adjust, and come to sit in this half virasana. Now once I'm here, I'm going to move that left foot over because I know I can make it a little smaller. And then you just, you know, depending on what you're feeling, this is a lot. It's great. Get into these places of discomfort where we take the hands back, maybe onto the forearms. And then it's really, you know, it's finding place. Once you know, I can come back with ease, then I send the belly down, drop the jaw, chin is tucked in. And again, if you want more, maybe the left leg is gonna lift up. But, you know, it's all just portals and openings that happen over time. And maybe not at all. Just keep doing the work. Okay, one more breath. Okay, and then we're going to come out, take the blocks forward. Again, I'm coming back to downward dog. I'm going to use the blocks this time. So heels of the hands are on the blocks and my fingers are spread. Just makes the arms up. Make sure your blocks are on your mat if you're using them. Push down and away. Good. Just breathing. Good. Okay. All right. Put the knees down. They ended up on the bolster. That's fine. We'll take them apart and we're going to come back to child's pose. So make it your own, whatever you need. I'm going to have the bolster underneath the chest. I'm going to put my hands on the blocks. Shoulders get a little lift. Then you tuck your chin, rest your forehead if that works, or turn your head, whatever you need to do here. Okay. And then you can bring in that breath. And I want to say eyes of the chest, but maybe it's the backs of the eyes of the chest. So Feel yourself breathing into the back body, maybe all the way to the top. One more breath. Good. Okay, and then we'll come up, 2 hands and knees. Okay, I'm just gonna scooch the bolster forward a little bit and just turn myself. So I'm just gonna put we did this the other day, just the right hip is on the bolster, the left hip is dropping off. Feel free to use your blocks, your blankets. This is signs of an advanced practitioner. How many props can you use? Okay, the left shin for me is pointing back, the left foot's pointing back. And I'm just gonna put the arch of the right foot, the left shin is gonna rest in there. Again, the left hip is dropping off, right hip is on the bolster. Yeah, this is the pose. So it should, you can see crown of the head nicely supported, lifting the chest. And take a breath here. Let the left hip descend. So even if you drop your eyes down your nose, feel the left hip dropping. And then we're going to twist to the right. So the right hand, you can take your block with you. It's going to come over. Left hand comes to the right outer knee. And we turn. And then just notice, if you're tilting forward, can you lift your heart? The eyes of the heart lifting. Even the back of the eyes of the heart softening. There's a lot to think about here. So if the eyes of the heart is too much to think about, it's just the twist and everything, then just smile and say, okay, I'm here, I'm doing it. Good. Okay, release. I'm gonna come to the opposite side and I'm just gonna roll it. So I'll just move my blocks. Okay, nothing complicated, just yourself over. Some fancy footwork over the blocks, and then find the opposite side. Right hip supported, no, left hip supported, right hip is dropping. Here's my left foot is pointing out, and the right foot is pointing back as best as you can. Okay, and then just be here for a few moments, however you are. Eyes of the heart, crown of the head, right side dropping. Okay, so just really be with this descension and ascension. Maybe that's an Easter reference. Just let that right hip descend. And then we'll inhale, lift the eyes of your heart. And exhale, come to your twist. And just turning in a very nice way, but letting the right hip descend. Eyes of the heart, back of the heart. Chin in a little bit. One more moment. And then release. Good. Okay, I'm just gonna set the blocks aside. I'm gonna turn now. So I'm sitting. You might bring your blocks. I'll show you. I'm gonna take the hands down. So if you need blocks, then find them. And then we'll just start to rock the shoulders. And maybe as you rock your shoulders, your knees are want to rock, and that's fine. We're gonna make them go to our advantage. So let's do this. Let's take the right shoulder back and then rock your knees to the left, turn your head to the right. Open the eyes of the heart as best as you can. Or even take your head and just take your right ear towards the floor a little bit. Like just stretching out and dropping. Good. And then switch. So the left shoulder comes back. And we'll take the knees a little bit to the right. And we lift the eyes of the heart. Okay, one more breath. Good. And then come back. Okay, we're going to take boat pose here. So you might sit in the center of your bolster. You see, you bring your knees in. Sometimes this can be a bit of a hindrance. Maybe it's a help. Maybe the knees stay bent. Maybe the legs go straight. Maybe you lift yourself up. Maybe you reach. Oh, we're balancing. Okay, it's okay to drop in a little bit. Sometimes we want to be on the sit bones, but you can also be on the sacrum. Take one more breath and then release. I'm just going to hug the knees in. I'm going to keep balancing just for fun. Because it's fun. Okay, now we're going to sit in Baddha Konasana. So take your time, use your blocks if you need to support the outer knees. Okay. And then again, I'm just going to move the hands back. I'm just looking for an opening here. I'm going to press the soles of the feet together, take the shoulders back, lifting the eyes of the heart. Keep the belly in a little bit. Chin in. Okay, and then walk yourself upright. We're just going to come to a forward fold. So use your blocks. Just be kind and loving. And you're going to come onto your forearms. You can do that too, or all the way to the floor. And if the bolster is not assisting your pose, then feel free to pop off. I'm still on it. Just dropping the head, the jaw, the belly. Even the eyes of the chest, if your chest is parallel to the floor, feel like you're looking with the eyes of the chest into the floor. And then feel your breath moving through your expanded awareness of your torso and all the way up to the chest. Okay. Bring yourself up. I'm just going to turn again. Okay, so we're going to take pigeon pose from here. I'm going to use the bolster. So I'm just going to take my right knee is down, left knee is up. I'm going to sweep the left leg back. And I want to find the left thigh on the bolster. So right knee can come in between the hands. It can move out. You just feel where you are. Maybe you want to do this rocking and rolling over the left thigh for a little bit. Okay, now because we have the left thigh, and I have this bolster all the way up to the left hip. Okay, now I'm going to come onto the forearms and just go a little deeper. And this is the pose. This is it. I just want to melt myself over. You have the support of the bolster, so we're getting a little bit more into, for me, it's the inner outer right hip. Melt the heart, maybe the head can go. Okay. There could be a little bit of forward and back movement. Or maybe side to side if you need to kind of move something along. Okay. So we're here for another 3 breaths, and feel that each breath is awakening you and releasing the ascension and the descension. Okay, and then we're going to come out. So let's see, maybe a downward dog if that works, or just find your way to sitting for a moment or two. Okay, yeah. Get one more breath here. All right, now I'm just going to take that left leg around to the front of the bolster and drop the right thigh on the bolster. If that doesn't work, you just take your time, find the shape, put your hands on the blocks if you like, or keep them on the floor. And we'll just, once you're in it, just begin with some moving. So you feel the whole right thigh. And again, I have the bolster right up, under the right hip, front of the hip. And just take your time, ease yourself in. And once we're in, it's about just using the props to support the pose and take us into these places. It doesn't mean you have to stop moving, but you might find more when you're still. Because then it's really about what's happening inside this body. How can I use my breath and my powers of softness and ease to accomplish what I want to have accomplished here, which is just an opening. So just melting the back of your heart, your jaw, your belly, all these places with all tension, hips. Okay, and then from here, friends, we're going to come up and we're going to sit. And you might just, find your way to cross-legged on the bolster. I'm going to take it to virasana with the bolster. So I'll put the knees either side. Maybe I'm going to walk up a little bit. Sit in a way that is nourishing. Okay. If this is nourishing, great. If it's not, that's okay. So I'm just going to rest the hands, let the shoulders go. Just feel the eyes of the heart as you inhale. The backs of the eyes of the heart descend as best as you can. If you're very uncomfortable in your sit, that's all you think about. Okay. One more breath. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our backs. I'm just going to come onto my hands and knees and just kind of move the bolster back. And I'm going to lie down in Supta Virasana. So that's pretty much the same thing. I'm going to put the tush on the floor and lie back over the bolster. Feel free to legs stretched out, Baddha Konasana, even a cross-legged, and then I'll tell you when to switch. And if you need a support underneath your hips and maybe a higher bolster, some blocks, if you're interested in doing Virasana, then you prop it up. I don't need that many props in here. This works nice for me, but you be wherever you are, take advantage of this. Someone telling you, make yourself comfortable, lie down, support your body and breathe. Okay, wherever position you have your legs, can you do a little bit of hip walking? So you just extending one hip away, the other one in. Okay. And then just let yourself be here. And really melt in. If you want to take your arms over your head, maybe you grab opposite elbows or you stretch your arms out and just be in the rest. Okay. Feel the eyes of the heart and the back of your eyes of your heart. So really upper lungs. But because we have this bolster where we do, you might even be able to tune into the breath expanding at the upper lungs and also into your low belly as the diaphragm moves. And you might feel the expansion in both places as you inhale and the drawing together at center as you exhale. Okay, if you have the opposite elbows, just change the grasp now. And we'll drop in for our final few breaths. If you can tuck your chin a little bit more, do it. Let the jaw go a little more. Tune into the breath. Okay. So we're going to come out. And for some of you, that might mean stretching the legs out first. If you're in Virasana, it's a little tricky to stretch the legs out. It's not impossible. It's a little tricky. So you might want to come up first or seek them out one at a time. Let's all just, I'm just wiggling down a little bit. I'm going to put the bolster up a little higher underneath the ribs. So if you already have it there, that's fine. Okay, and then heel toe your feet. Let's come to windshield wiper again. Just kick your props out of the way. Okay, very nicely and kindly. So it's very different here. Okay, you might find that the inside knee can come down a little bit closer to the sole inseam of the opposite foot. So be with your own experience here. We've changed position. Maybe it might be the same for you. It's fine. Okay. Good. And then heel toe your feet to hip distance apart. So feet are pointing straight. You're going to bring the arms down, spread the fingers. And I'm not pressing down, I'm just resting here. Let the shoulders drop, jaw drop, heart drop, mid back drop. And you feel it to your feet. And on your next inhale, start to push into the feet and lift the hips. And they don't need to go that high. They might. As they go higher, I actually lift my head. So the head is supported by the bolster. Lift my head, put it back. And if you want to take your arms over your head or into a different position, you might even be able to hold your backs of your hips here. And then we'll release from this nice and slow, 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 slow. Find a nice comfortable place for the hips to land. If you need a block or blanket, put it there, and then take a full breath in and full breath out. We're going to do that one more time. Feel the feet. Maybe you pigeon toe the feet a little bit. You can feel all the bones of your feet. And then on your inhale, anchor the feet, start to lift. Just come to a place that feels healthy, strong, open, whatever you need. Maybe arms over your head. And then lengthening as you come down through the exhale. The eyes, the backs of the chest is supported. Let yourself come down. This time as you come down, we're going to stretch the legs straight and maybe open them a little wider than you normally do. We're just going to start to turn the toes in towards each other and out. So the legs might be nice, comfortable distance apart. Just feel into this movement. Do one more, bring the toes in, and then release. Okay, we're gonna bend the knees, feet to the floor, roll to one side, come off the bolster, or if you wanna press yourself up or rock up, do that. Okay, all right. All right, we're gonna do twist. So I'll put the bolster in place, and you can put something else on it. If you like a block, maybe I'll just put a block over here. Hands on either side, lengthen so you can get as much of the, if you start off with your left hip at the bolster, you want to get the right side of the shoulder, chest down, turn your head, that's comfortable. Pretty at the end of our practice, so it should be comfortable. You always throw a block underneath the end of the bolster. And then if you're happy here, you can add the legs. I'm going to take the top leg straight back, tuck the toes under so the heel's pointing up, and then I'll extend the bottom leg out to the side. And then you're here. So with the top leg extended straight back and the toes tucked under, you have access to the hip here. You could, if you have some hip stuff in your the top hip, you can rock that heel of the extended leg a few times. And then drop into a comfortable place if you want to rebend your leg, or just find a place here where you can just breathe. Explore the eyes of your lungs, space. Just drop in as much as you can. Just turning your head. If you turned it away from the knees, bring it back now. And then pressing yourself up and just come to sit for a moment or two. Maybe it's Virasana, this pose we did before. You could just turn and sit cross-legged. You can use the bolster. Okay, so I'm going to change sides. You could just turn around, but I'm just going to do this little thing. Just roll it over to the other side. Okay, and then hands on either side of the bolster. Lengthen yourself. Extend over the bolster. Into the twist. Much of the opposite side as down as you can. Head can turn or not. And then adding the legs if you like that. So the top leg extends out and the bottom leg extends. Same direction as you started facing. And just finding some movement if you need it, or release, release, release. Just turning your head now. Maybe we can come back. When you're ready, just bring yourself back up to sit, and whatever that is. Just take a moment or two. Just be with that. Okay, so I'm going to take forward fold again, and I'm just going to put the legs either side of the bolster. And then you sit on something if you know you need that, or put your bolster up higher, or you don't even need to worry about the bolster so much. Just take a few moments. My legs are extended. They're not super wide, either side of the bolster. Heels are on the floor. And just take a moment or two just in your sit once you've made it comfortable to feel the eyes of the chest. You need to remind yourself where they are. A little energetic tapping is always a good thing. Good. Okay, so once you start to feel this lift of the eyes of the chest and this dropping of the tail, that's kind of the indication to move with softness and ease and just start to walk yourself forward. You can let your spine round if you like and let the head go. You can use the hands to just gently pull and push the floor a few times. It's almost like a seated cat-cow. Maybe your legs want to open more. Like, just be very curious here. What would feel good? Might be swaying side to side. It's a great gift of time to just explore. Okay, so we're here for another 10 breaths, and I tell you that so you know you have the space to move and to rest and to receive whatever is happening here. Incorporating all that inner awareness we uncovered, rediscovered during this practice. You even slow your breath down. You're just receiving. The body's talking to you and you're just listening. Just moving into your final few moments. And our next pose is Shavasana. So if you feel something is unlocking, stay here for, maybe you just need 3 more breaths and something magical is going to show itself. And so when you're ready, then you'll just walk yourself up and set yourself up for a very nice Shavasana. We'll use the same setup I did the other day. The bolster is going to go underneath the knees and the calves. And these 2 blocks and this blanket are going to support the feet. I'll take another blanket for behind the head. Of course, I have heating pads here. And then a nice blanket to cover yourself is always a nice thing. An eye pillow and bottom of my view right now, these big snowflakes falling down April 19th. It is beautiful. So, okay, let's take, this little nature blankets herself once again. And tells her little seeds, it's okay, take some extra rest. Just feel that message is descending into you too. Just let everything rest. And just as you start to come in, a lot of hip crease work. So if your hip creases need a little bit of massage, or your belly, or your eyes of your chest, any place on your body needs a little bit of your touch or your tapping, or Just offer it. Just receiving, releasing. Shavasana. Just for the next few moments, feeling the parts of you connected to the earth. And release them more deeply. You're just burrowing a little deeper into the earth. Feel yourself held a little more snugly. Staying in that deep, dark, resting position. And as you start to feel now the top part of your body, now receive the breath. More connection just for the next few moments. And the open part of your body ascending every in-breath. And the dropping, the descension with every out-breath. And choosing to stay as you are. You're beginning to bring in very gentle movements as you slowly and lovingly awaken yourself if that's where you're going. As you bend your knees, if you want to hug your knees into your chest for a few moments. Just feel yourself holding yourself. Just coming back to this idea of rebirth. And this little seed on the earth, slowly awaken and arise in your own time. It's coming back to this awakened, renewed you. And just as we began class, bringing the awareness inside the body, when you do come upright, sitting with your eyes closed and just listening, sounds you hear, noticing the temperature of the air on your exposed skin. So without even opening your eyes, you're bringing yourself back into your space. As you exhale, Bring these hands together in front of your heart and bow your chin. All that you are, all that you offer yourself. This great gift of self-care. Seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra, and we know. Inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy and may we be happy. We'll seal that. Inhale. Breathe your breath into your hands. Catch your breath, bow your chin, offer. Whatever you need is here. You hold it in your hands. Lift your chin, open your eyes. Gift this to yourself. Whatever it is, it's yours. And we'll send it out. Oh, we'll send it all the way out. So much love. Yes. Oh, namaste, friends. Thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate you being here. I honor your practice and I send it out with love and gratitude. And we'll see you guys. Oh, enjoy. Have a great day, everyone. Bye, guys.